Today, what we're going to learn in art today is how to use and create a value scale. This is a value scale right here. It goes from light to dark. And so what we're going to do is use this knowledge right here and apply it to a circle. And when we do that, it makes it look three-dimensional. So it makes it look like it's really a ball. All right, so what we're going to first do is I would like you to write in your sketchbooks the word value scale. Make a long rectangle across your paper. Divide it in half. Divide it in half again. And then you can divide each of those sections into half. Write the word light on this side, midtones, and dark. So we're going to talk about how we would use our pencil when we're doing a value scale. First of all, put your pencil on your table like this, and you just grab it with your pointer and your thumb, and you just kind of do an overhand hold onto it. Now there's different pressures, and you're going to find out that the further back from the tip that we have our hand from the edge is going to be a little bit lighter pressure. So when we're starting with the light end, I want you to have your hand way back like this, and I want you to go lightly and just barely put it in. It hardly looks like anything at all. Then I want you to add a little bit more into this. It's going to start getting darker. My hand is still way back on my pencil, but I want you to go like this. Now it's about the same value, so I need to have you make it just a little bit darker by adding another layer to it. I will go into the next step. This will be a little bit darker yet. And this will be darker here. One layer. Sure, that would be great. Thank you. And make it a little bit darker yet. Sorry about that. And then this gets a little bit darker. But right now it's light, so I'm just adding another layer. That's the trick. Now I'm starting to need a little more pressure, so I'm going to move my hand up. And sometimes I'll use my pointer as kind of a gas pedal to give me a little more pressure when I need it. So I'll press down a little bit, and you can see right away it's starting to get darker. And the next one. And I moved my hand up just a little bit to give it more pressure. Putting in more layers, I just keep on going back and forth. Here I moved up a little bit more, a little pressure, but I still am putting layers in. I don't want to go in as dark as possible right away. And there we go. And now we're getting to our last one. And what's so great about this is I can really have a lot of control because I can go back and make these ones darker if I need to. It's hard to go lighter once your pencil marks are down, but now you're going to do it a little bit, just a little bit harder there, maybe a little bit here. And so then it just gradually gets lighter. All right, so now I'm going to use this knowledge that we just gained and how to make values and how to use layers and pressure. And now we're going to do our first shape, and we're going to make a circle. What you want to do is you want to tighten up your wrist when you're making a circle, and you want to use your full arm. So I'm going to go like this, and I'm just going to use my full arm, and I'm going to make a nice circle. So there's my circle. It's not perfect, but that's all right. Okay, so looking back at this picture, this is what we're going to recreate. You can see that my highlight is here. My midtones are here. Here's my crescent, which is a dark value. And then my darkest part is going to be my casted shadow. So when you start shading, I want you to find your highlight and your darkest value that's on your shape. Don't worry about your casted shadow yet, but this shape. And it's kind of like a crescent. It's almost like a moon. So right here is not going to have anything in it, but I don't want to put a circle around that. So I'm going to use my over the hand grip, and I'm going to put in kind of a lighter mid-tone, but not real dark, even though it's going to get a lot darker. And I'm going to go like this. And then I'm going to layer it. I'm putting another layer in, getting a little bit broader with my movement. Starting to fill in my circle just a little bit, but I'm using pretty light pressure because I don't want to go too dark, because it's really hard when you go too dark right away. Just going to keep on going, kind of filling in my circle. Sometimes I need to turn my paper around because it's hard when I have this overhand grip to get my edges nice a little bit. And now it's starting to get nice. Here we go. We're going to go in here. Now it's still not even close to being done. I'm just going to go in here and just give this a little bit more. And I need to step away for just a split second because I need to get my Kleenex. First of all, my Kleenex, I just use regular Kleenex, and I just like to fold it up because I like to have a lot of control. And at this point, I'm just going to see where I'm at in my drawing, so I want to just rub it. And I'm not rubbing it straight across. I'm going around because this is a round shape. And I'm bringing the color around, just being very careful not to get into that area that's going to be my highlight. Move a little bit of the color into that. But right now, I have quite a bit of mid-tone and a highlight. So I'm going to go back in, and I'm going to add, with an overhand hold onto my pencil, some of the dark area again. You'll rub that out, but it's so great, this method, because you can go back in, and you can rub it here. And I'm just going to rub it in a little bit more. Make it a little softer there. Okay, now I'm ready for my casted shadow. So first of all, I kind of look at the shape that I'm going to be creating, but I don't draw a line to keep my shading in there because then it'll give you a funny look. So I'm going to go back, and I'm just going to go right next to my circle, or now it's my sphere. I'm going to start putting it in. But I still do not put really dark movement underneath it. I make it nice and soft, and I'm pulling it out, but I think that's about as far as I'm going to go, and I'm going to start putting a little more underneath here because I know it's going to need that. I come in with my Kleenex, and I'm just rubbing this out. And I make it, my rubbing, I kind of rub it a little bigger than my pencil because then it gives it a nice soft edge. And now I'm just going to go back in, right next to it. And now I'm going to just rub this out. Then you can, now my sphere is done, and I'm going to ask you to label your sphere like this. Please write highlight, pointing to your highlight, midtones to the mid area of your sphere, your crescent, which is the darker area right here, the darkest part of our piece. The darkest value is going to be right underneath your sphere, and this is called the casted shadow. If you can get that done, that'd be great. Thank you.